When her parents leave on a mysterious business trip, Emma Vale has the perfect excuse to rebel, throw some parties, get a tattoo, or maybe just a piercing, and enjoy the first few weeks of junior year. But when the cops crash her party, she finds herself in the hands of a new guardian, her college-age knight in J. Crew armor, Bennett Stern, and on a plane to his museum-like mansion in New England. After enrolling at Thatcher Academy, Emma settles in by making friends with the popular Legacy crowd, but can't shake the strange visions that are haunting her. She has memories of Thatcher that she can't explain, as if she's returning home to a place she's never been. Emma doesn't trust anyone anymore, except maybe Bennett. And he's about to reveal a ghostly secret, one that will explain the visions, and make Emma fear for her life. Hello, my fellow bookworms. This is Jessica with Chapter Chicks, and I'm doing a book review over Deception by Lee Nichols. Deception was released June 8th of 2008 by Bloomsbury USA Children's Publishers, and it is the first book in the Haunting Emma series, and there are 310 pages in the US paperback edition. So basically, when I first saw this book, I saw it on Christie, www.thestorysiren.com's website, and I wasn't really too intrigued, but I wasn't really not intrigued either. So I decided to pick it up, and I didn't really like the cover of it very much. I don't really like the mass production-y feel to it, but I adored the book. It took me like a day or two to read, because once I actually sat down and read it at work, I just couldn't put it down. I was reading it on my breaks. I was reading it when I got home. I was at my boyfriend's house, and I asked him to go make me some popcorn, and I read it during the 2 minutes that he was making me popcorn. And I also read it when I got home that night until I was done. I just stayed up late reading it until it was all the way finished, because it was just so good. I was just so intrigued by everything that happened in it. It has enough fantasy in it to keep me interested, but it doesn't have so much just thrown on and thrown on and thrown on and thrown on that it's not fun to read, because there are certain books that take fantasy to too much fantasy. Can't do it. And Lee Nichols doesn't do that. And another great thing about this book was the love interests in this book. There is a love triangle, and I love love triangles so much, because if you put yourself in a book and you're a girl, obviously you're going to want there to be a love triangle. You're going to want two amazing guys chasing after your character, right? Right. And one of them is always so perfect. One of them's like the football player. He has money. He's so nice. He knows everything about you. And then you have the other one, who is so wrong for you. But that's usually the one that everyone ends up going with, because you got to follow your heart. You got to follow it. But yeah, so basically, it has an amazing love triangle, and it's been a while since I've read a book where I actually felt something about the characters, like as their love triangle, when I was actually torn when something wouldn't go right or something like that. So I was really excited about that, because you know, you gotta get into the characters and gotta get into the fun. So yeah, and another thing about it was I was never bored throughout the entire book. And like I said, I read it really quick, and it also doesn't have stuff thrown at her all the time, which is good. So I wasn't bored, but I also wasn't like too overwhelmed either. And I am just like plus Lee Nichols, the way that she writes is amazing. I love the way Lee Nichols writes. I cannot wait for the sequel, because she writes amazing, and the story is just so good. I can't really say much, but there is just so much mystery behind it. There is so much mystery behind this book, and it's not one of those books where the mystery is like, oh hey, there's this mystery, cool. Okay, well, there goes book 1, no answers. There goes book 2, no answers, just more questions. And here's book 3, finally some answers. It's the last one, and you get to the last like 10 pages, and it's like, what? That was the answer? No. This one isn't like that. It gives you enough answers to keep you going, but it also, you're still curious as to all kinds of things that could happen. But yeah, there's not really much more I can say about this. But don't judge this book by its cover, because, I mean, I don't know if you guys like that cover or not, but I don't, as far as, like, some of the other beautiful covers that are out right now. Don't judge this book by a cover. Definitely go pick it up. It got a B for me, which is above average, but not perfect. So, I guess I didn't really say anything bad about it. I can't really put my finger on what was bad about it. It was just not as good as other things. Like how I said, the writing was good. It was really, really, really good, but it wasn't as good as something else. And the love was good, really, really, really good, but it wasn't as good as other love. So that's why it got a B and not an A or an A+. But definitely, definitely, definitely pick this book up and at least read the first couple pages, because I'm pretty sure you'll be hooked. That is my review over Deception by Lee Nichols. I'm Jessica with Chapter Chicks, and this chapter was for you. Thanks, guys.